block is hot. Let me get a mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let me get a mic check so I can go out and come back in. If you can't hear me, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know so I can go out and come back in. Let me get a mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Woo! My protein almost exploded. Would have been white stuff everywhere. Can y'all hear me okay? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. What's up, Blood Moon? Hello, hello, hello. Tristan! Where are you, Tristan? All right, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome to On the Block with Jen. You guys already know On the Block with Jen on all social media platforms. I don't know if you're a TikTok person, a Facebook person, an Instagram person, but I am literally On the Block with Jen on all platforms. I am also On the Block with Jen at Gmail. Okay, if you guys want to write something to me, something you don't want everybody else here to know, write it to me at the Gmail. You can also hit me there for collabs, or you can hit me on my Instagram for collabs as well. You know what I always say, the collabs have to make sense to both you and me, okay? They have to make sense. You know, the days are gone where I'm camming up with all the ratchets and doing the YouTube beef. I left that sector behind, even though, you know, every now and then it's like having a bug infestation, and every now and then you got to call the exterminator. But I'm out of that, so don't call me for no beef, no panels. I don't give a fuck who did what, blah blah, yada yada. That's always gonna be. This is just like the regular streets. Some people are always gonna be gossipers, and some people are always gonna be about their business. That's just life. That's just life. It is okay. We will move on. We will move on from it. So let's kick it. Yeah. Before we get into the meat and taters, okay? The meat and taters are white tears still a threat to your life? Okay, that's the meat and taters. But before we get to the meat and taters, I wanted to talk to you about a couple things that I saw, a little bit of, a little couple current events here and there. What's up, Morena Reyes? You know, a couple things here and there, here and there. Kafo, I don't know how to pronounce your name, even though I'm really good at pronunciations, but Kafoe, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, Kafo says, mediation and exercise makes a good day. It sure does. I just got back from the gym. That's why I was a little late to get to you guys, but it really keeps you centered and sound and calm, and whatever it is, whether you meditate or work out, do something that releases tension and makes you feel good and get your blood going. It's very, very important. You can't sit on these machines all day because you turn into like an ogre, really, like some sort of troll. So get out there, whatever it is, walk around the block, play with your puppy, play with your kids, just get out there, get the blood flowing, okay? Every now and then. All right, you guys. Good to see you here. So happy to see you. Really, really, truly, sincerely. I like kicking it with y'all. Ladies, you know I'm going to ask you every time I'm here. I'd love to see you up on the panel when I open the panel, right? The guys are coming up anyway. You know the guys like coming up. But I'd like to see my ladies on the panel. I got to finish this. Okay. So I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Alex Jones, the conservative talk show host, I guess, Alex Jones. He's alt-right, far right, gun rights. He's all the rights. Alex Jones, a talk show person, whatever. He used to be on all social media platforms, but he got banned because he's very outspoken, very, very racist, like the real racist, not like racist light. You know, people throw that word around a lot. You're racist, she's racist, he's racist, that was racist, right? I'm talking about real racist, like, nigger, the ER with the hard ER, talking about Muslims, talking about Mexicans, talking about Latin, he's the real deal, right? USDA homegrown racist type of, big old, Texas white guy. Anyway, he's also a very controversial conspiracy theorist. And most recently, I don't know if you heard, but he was sued for saying that the Sandy Hook mass shooting was all fake, right? And as you know, Sandy Hook was one of the deadliest mass shootings that there was. And he was going on his shows and on different platforms, basically saying that Sandy Hook was a hoax and it's something that the government did to take our guns, right? Because you know how people are about their guns. So some parents sued, and they won. They sued for 150 million, but they got 45 million, and then somewhere down to 4 million. Anyway, he lost, and he has to pay that money just for constantly saying that Sandy Hook was a hoax, that it wasn't real, that those children really didn't get slaughtered in that school. Okay. So he lost in court and now he has to pay. Yeah, Alex Jones. I don't know if you know who that guy is, but yeah, he was sued and now he has to pay. Isn't that incredible? Just because he was saying that it was a hoax, but apparently they sued, they won. Now, does he have $45 million? Does he have 4 million? Who knows? Is he going to appeal? More than likely. Absolutely, right? Because that's how it is. We hear these big numbers when people win these lawsuits, but there's always the appeal process, as you know, right? But it's a good thing, I guess. Okay, you guys. Someone text me. Give me 1 second. People know I'm live and they text me. The funny thing about Alex Jones is that man is 48 and I swear he looks like 60 or 78. When you're really like an ugly person on the inside, that shit like shows up on your face and on your body. You walk around looking like a big bag of marbles and it shows on your face. Like when you're an ugly person inside, eventually it comes out of your pores. That's what people don't understand. Everything comes out of your pores, okay? What you drink, what you eat, everything comes out of your pores. What you feel, what you think, and it shows up. All right, guys, let me just shoot this text really quickly. So I thought that story was interesting because I really didn't think, honestly, I didn't think they were going to win the lawsuit, but they sure the fuck did. They sure did. So now Alex Jones has egg on his face. The block is hot. The block is hot. Haven't heard that song in a while, right? It's like listen, we don't hear songs in a long, long while. And then when we hear them, we're like, yo, that shit was banging. The block is hot. The block is hot. That shit is hot. Okay. All right. So let's get into it, guys. So I don't know if you know, there was a shooting in Brooklyn. Maybe you guys have heard. There was a shooting in Brooklyn. A McDonald's worker got shot, right? Over cold fries, right? And it sounds crazy when you hear it like that. McDonald's worker got shot for over cold fries, right? But that's literally what it was. I posted a video earlier today, and the caption was, "Free yourself, weirdos." Right? Free yourself, weirdos. And it's short. It's like an hour. It's a minute. It's a minute and a half. It's a really quick video where I was saying a lot of us, not me, because I will delete and block in a minute, but a lot of people follow and subscribe to people that they don't like, right? I spoke about that before. Like they don't like them, but it's like they have to watch them. And I forgot who it was. I don't want to get the name wrong. I'm not sure if it was Morena Reyes, but there was a great comment that said they fetishize the people that they don't like. And it's so, so true, right? Because they keep coming to watch the person that they don't like. And that's weird, right? Like, the natural order of things is I don't like you. I don't want to be around you. But on YouTube, you get fetishized and it's like people want to come see what you're doing anyway. And I thought that was an excellent point to my video. But my video was basically how people are conditioned to be around people that they don't like, that are not good for them, that may be toxic. And I talked about, we grow up like if your mother is not a good person, everybody tells you, well, honor thy mother and thy father. So religion comes into play. And then you're thinking we're related. This is my mother. She gave birth to me. I got to be around her. I got to love her no matter what. And some parents are very, very toxic. Some parents are even narcissistic. I said that also about siblings. Sometimes your siblings ain't shit. Like sometimes your siblings ain't shit, though you share DNA. But we're conditioned to think, well, you know what I mean? Blood is thicker than water, and we got to, you know what I mean? So we're conditioned from a very young age, even if someone is toxic, to stay around them. I think this McDonald's shooting is a great example of that, right? Because it wasn't just over fries, right? The young man, the shooter, was outside. His mother was inside the McDonald's, right? Thank you, Morena Reyes. Yes, it was you. I get a lot of comments, but that one really stuck out, and I didn't want to give credit to the wrong person. It was Morena Reyes that said that comment. So the mother was inside. The mother of the shooter was inside, got into a verbal, some sort of situation with the McDonald's workers, and her fries were cold. Supposedly, allegedly, I don't know, her fries were cold. She made a big stink about it, right? With the workers, some words were exchanged. Her son, right, shot one of the McDonald's workers that his mom was having this verbal disagreement with. The gun was passed to him by his girlfriend, right? So look at that dynamic. Mother inside arguing with the McDonald's worker. Girlfriend outside gives him the gun. The girl was also charged, by the way. The girlfriend was also charged, right? Because she wanted to be that ride or die, right? The ride or dies get charged too. So when you look at the dynamic of that shooter, you have a chick outside who's giving you the gun to go ruin your life, and you have a mother who gave birth to you, right? Who you love no matter what, inside, not trying to stop you over French fries. Over French fries. Right? So it goes back to my point of we're conditioned to be around people that either we don't like or that are bad for us. And a lot of things that, you know, keep us in those situations, one of them be it religion, forgive, turn the other cheek. No one is perfect. Only God can judge, right? You have that factor. Then you have the other, well, that's family, man, family first. Blood is thicker than water. These are statements that we hear from when we little tiny kids, right? So we grow up thinking, well, blood is thicker than water. Family first. And a lot of times your family's fucked up. And then that translates to when you go out in the world. Right? And then you see people on YouTube you can't stand. But like Morena Reyes said, you fetishize them and you have to come see what they're saying. And it's weird. That's why I said free yourself, weirdos. Like free yourself. Stop being around people that you don't like. It's weird. It's not good. It's not healthy. I'm sorry you were conditioned that way. But I broke free from that like at a very, very young age. At a very, very young age. I was like, no, you're fucked up. I don't care if I share DNA with you, cousin, whatever, nephew, niece, whatever. Y'all are, And life is short, right? You don't want to be in your deathbed one day thinking, damn, I shouldn't have wasted all them years underneath that umbrella, right? A blood is thicker than water, family first, right? It's just not good. Because then you grow up and you become an asshole who's on social media looking at people that you don't like. And it's weird. So, you know, a life was taken. And I'm sorry, I take it extra fucking personal when fast food workers lose their lives or fast food workers are bullied or targeted, right? Because it's not a job that anybody wants to be doing. It is a hard job. Okay, you're on your feet all fucking day. You're dealing with all kinds of different personalities. I've never worked a fast food job, but I know people that have, right? I make it a point to at least try to be nice. You know what I'm saying? Make them smile. Ask them how they're doing. Their face lights up, right? It takes a couple seconds while you're reaching for your burger, right? How you doing today? Good. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take anything out of your pocket. It's fast food. You're paying about $7 to $10 for a burger. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying $300 for a fucking filet mignon. It's $7 to $10 for a burger. Least you could do is be nice, right? So it's just horrific to think that a young man is at McDonald's doing his job and he loses his life. His family loses him over cold French fries, right? 2 people lost their lives because homie is going to jail. The shooter is going to jail, right? So there are so many things that could have been done to prevent it up until it happened. The chick is handing him the gun. The mother's inside complaining about the fries. I don't know, but I would think a natural instinct when you really love, right, a relative and you see them coming in about to ruin their lives, you're going to put pause to it. Wait a minute. Wait. Even if, because I know people are like, well, maybe the McDonald's worker had an attitude. I don't give a fuck. There is not one McDonald's worker on planet Earth that is worth me doing 25 to life. Not one. I don't care what he says. I don't care what she says. There is not one fry cook at a McDonald's that is worth me going to trial. Not about a meal. Not about a meal. So I'm looking at the mother. I'm looking at the girlfriend outside. Like, so now her son is gone. And, you know, it's said a lot of times women, and I don't know, listen, I'm speculating. Let's just speculate to speculate, right? For shits and giggles. But a lot of times women treat their sons like they're saviors instead of the other way around, right? We're supposed to provide for our kids. We're supposed to set our kids up, right? But in our communities, right? Because we're so used to struggle and bringing children into that struggle, our children grow up thinking, I got to save my mom. I got to buy my mom that first house. I got to buy my little sister that car, right? And that's the role that a lot of boys take in our communities, right? So he came in to be the savior. You ain't gonna talk to my mama about her cold fries, right? And now he's going to jail. He's going to jail. And another young man lost his life over fries. That boy went to work to start his shift, to make his, you know, his money. And now he's gone. And now he's gone. How could a mother see her son about to be in that type of predicament and not move hell and hot water to stop it? Obviously, she knew the temperament of her son. Obviously, maybe she may not have known there's a gun in the car or not. Right? Why? So you have to think before you act. You guys know I talk to you from my experience. I'm not talking out the side of my neck. I volunteered for anger management because if you think I'm bad now, if you guys think I'm bad now, y'all should have seen me before my anger management certificate. But I didn't like the steel bracelets. I didn't like the weekends in jail. It's just not cool. I was like, I have to do something about this. And it wasn't court mandated. I volunteered for anger management because in one split second, one of these ratchets out here will make you ruin your life forever. And you don't want to be thinking about that in a cell. You don't want to be thinking that piece of shit who's still going to be a piece of shit or a dead piece of shit when I'm in jail was not worth it. And when you in that cell, ooh, you come down from that anger, you come down, and the first thing that pops in your head wasn't worth it. If they're not hurting a family member, then that's different. You got to do what you got to do, okay? You got to do what you got to do. But it's never worth it if it's not life-threatening or threatening a family member. And we get mad quick. okay? We get mad quick. We like, hey, you who you talking to? Who disrespecting? So we have to watch that. You know what I mean? If you have medical insurance, health insurance, you can go to an anger management program. Don't wait till you're sitting in a cell like, I shouldn't have punched that bitch in her face. Wasn't worth it. She's still gonna be a ratchet ass bitch after I leave here. So let her run into somebody else who doesn't care about doing time. Let him run into somebody else who doesn't care about doing. I'm not gonna throw away my life. I got too much shit to do, and I like life. Right? I like my freedom. So just be careful about that. Don't. And women, ladies. Let me talk to y'all real quick. Super chat break. Haran, you coming up? Haran says, you mean she was treating her son like her boyfriend, Jen? Yes. So good segue, because let me talk to the ladies. Ladies, we have the power. We do. Men, unless men are completely off their rocker, we have the power to calm a man down. We do. I know I do. Okay, we have the power to calm men down. We do. So be very careful. Pick your battles. Cold French fries when you have a hothead son. No, not the cold French fries. Right? Should the men in the family, the sons, the boys, protect the women in their family? Absolutely. Right? That's their duty. Right? The men in our family. Cold French fries? Not so much. Right? So let's be careful. Let's pick our battles wisely. Okay? Right? I wanted to talk about, let's get into, all of a sudden, everybody's texting me, but they're going to have to wait because I'm with mi gente right now. Let's get into the topic because I'm not going to keep y'all here for long today, okay? But I thought this topic was very, very important, okay? Especially with the Emmett Till story back in los redes, in our, you know, on our social media algorithms. You know, Emmett Till, the movie is coming up soon. I gotta be real with y'all. I don't even know if I could watch it. I don't even know if I go watch it. Like the last series, When They See Us, the Central Park 5 series on Netflix, the Ava DuVernay joint. Like I watched that series. It's hard to get over. It's hard to watch When They See Us, the Central Park 5 story. They're not calling themselves the Exonerated 5. If you've been under a rock, the Central Park 5 or 5 teenagers in New York City who got arrested for a brutal rape that they did not do. During that time, teenagers, little boys, they were forced to write confessions, even though they didn't do the crime. Donald Trump at the time was calling for their death. It was like a modern day call for a lynching, right? It really hurt because back then, you know what I mean? I was that age and we were running the streets in groups, you know what I'm saying? And doing the wilding, as they said in the newspapers, and just being knuckleheads, right? So, you know, those kids were wrongfully accused, was wrongfully convicted. They did 7 to 8 years, lost their teenage life. They were exonerated. So when they see us, it's hard to watch what actually happened to them and how they were forced to confess, right? It's hard to watch, but I was like, you know what, Jen? Because I don't like oppression porn. It's like oppression porn. Like they're constantly reminding you of the shit that happens to us constantly. And it stays with you, right? So I was like, I don't know. And then a lot of people were like, they needed to talk to people after. It was messing up their mental health. And it's that well done. It is that well acted, okay? That actors the writing, like Ava DuVernay's directing, like it will touch you and it does stay with you. And I was like, okay, I didn't want to watch it at first, but then I was like, it's the least I can do, because those boys actually went through that. They went through it. With that said, if you're sensitive to that stuff, don't watch it. Don't watch it. If you're sensitive to that stuff, you don't have to watch it. I'm just saying why I watched it. I watched it because I was thinking it's the least I can do. They went through it. Their families went through it. Those kids did 7, 8 years in prison. All right. They threw them in there with the murderers and the real rapists and all of that. So the least I could do is watch a series on TV to support them, right? Because watching a series supports them. With that said, if you can't handle it, don't watch it. Because I don't, you know what I mean? It's not worth you having an engram in your head of like, oh my God, what happened to these boys? So, you know, during that time, Trump was doing what he does, right? And he called for their deaths. He called for their deaths. He called for the death penalty, right? Took out a whole page ad in the newspaper calling for their death. And even fast forward up to date, when they were exonerated, Trump didn't believe it and was even tweeting like, yeah, okay, what were they doing in the park? After they were exonerated with DNA evidence, Trump was still like, yeah, okay, but what were they doing in the park? And then he said that New York got robbed because they sued, and they did win in court. The Central Park Five did sue, and they were rewarded. And Trump was still like, well, what were they doing in the park? New York City got robbed. Like, meaning New York City got robbed when they won that money. So he was still on them. For all the people that are always like, oh, well, tell me one thing Trump said that was racist. He ain't racist. He did more for black people than Obama. No, that motherfucker good and racist, right? But politicians are going to politic. Anyway, this is not about that. So with this topic tonight, are white tears still a threat to your life? I'm talking about specifically white women, right? Because as you know, white tears are very, very dangerous. I did a show a couple months back. Are there limits to white tears regarding Johnny Depp's case against Amber Heard? And I said, yes, there are limits to white tears if there's a white man on the other end who's popular, right? Because Amber Heard was in there with them white tears, boy. Had Johnny Depp been black, he would have been finished. Because she had them white tears on tap, okay? She had them white tears on tap. She had the sad face on tap, the blonde hair. You know what I mean? She had Johnny Depp been black, he wouldn't have won that case, right? Because them white tears, they work. They fucking work, right? Enter, see, example, Emmett Till. So I'm going to play a video for you guys. Terrell Owens, just the other night, was Karen'd, right? We call it Karen now, right? We call it Karen now. But it really is serious because Karens, you know, as recently as the 1950s, would result in the death of a black person. As recently, think about that, 1950s would result in a death, right? It's resulted in false accusations and people doing time. You know, them white tears are very, very powerful, right? And I told you guys in my community tab, I got a little story of my own. Some of you may have heard it, some of you may not, but I'll run through it quickly because I want to play the Terrell Owens video for you guys if you haven't seen it, and you will see what this white lady was doing to him, using all the white tears that she had, even in the dialogue. You're not going to believe what she said, right? Or maybe you will. So my story, really quickly, I was on a panel, right? It was a panel. They were doing a talk show. They were auditioning people. They were seeing how you get along with the cast that they picked, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it was a nice, you know, array of different people. They had LGBTQ. They had white, they had black, they had Latin. It was a nice little mix of people. So the white lady, for some reason, she kept calling me sweetheart and baby. And I think that's disrespectful. I just think it's disrespectful, right? Especially when you say it to try to diminish somebody or be condescending. Okay, let's not be dumb to be dumb, like I always say, right? I've done it. I'm sure some of you guys have done it. We know when we say, sweetheart, I don't think so, sweetheart. We know when we're saying it in a condescending way, or like, right? When we're in some sort of verbal, right, altercation, right? Some kind of like, bitch, don't play with me, right? So this lady, we're all having this meeting, and the white lady, is on the panel, and she kept contradicting everything I was saying. And that's okay, right? Because a lot of people don't agree with the shit I say, and that's cool. But she was doing it in a way that was condescending, right? So I paused everybody, and I was like, do me a favor, right? And I'm gonna call her Julie now because I don't remember her fucking name. This was months ago. I was like, do me a favor, Julie, right? I was like, my name is at the bottom. Just call me Jen, and I'll call you Jen. This is the same thing that happened between me and Donovan Sharp. Like, motherfuckers are not raised. They're dragged up. They're dragged up. So they don't have any fucking etiquette, any manners. They don't know how to be professional because they're not raised. They're dragged up. They're dragged, literally. Their parents drag them to an age where they're old enough to get kicked out their fucking house, right? Some people just don't know etiquette. So I was like, Julie, just call me Jen. I'll call you Julie, and we'll be cool like that. Well, I can say what I want. I could call you baby no, you cannot. Like, it's not cool. Like, it's disrespectful. You and I don't have a rapport. We're just meeting, right? Do you know that this bitch started shaking, literally? And I would tell you, I would fucking tell you if I was up in her ass, okay? I would tell you. I would tell you, I was like, bitch, don't come at me like that. I was being my professional self, right? This is an audition. Everybody's getting along. Like, bitch, just call me Jen. It's really not that hard. Like, it's so not hard just to call me Jen, especially in a professional environment, right? That's all I'm asking. I was very nice about it, right? This bitch starts having a Karen meltdown. I don't know if the Xanax ran out. She looked like she was drunk to me. I even asked her, are you drinking? Right? She proceeds to say these words verbatim. She tells the host that organized the Zoom meeting, you said that this was going to be a safe space. I feel threatened. We're on a Zoom call. I'm nowhere near you, bitch. I said it very nicely. Just call me Jen. I'll call you Julie. And we can all get along. This bitch said, you said this was going to be a safe space. I feel threatened. Pendeja, all I want is for you to call me by my name. But it's the language that they use, right? It's the knowing that I am a lily white lady. And if I let people know I feel threatened and I'm scared, something will happen to the other person. It is in their fucking DNA. And I know what some people are thinking, no, there's some nice white people. They don't think like that. There are. But you cannot erase in this country. I'm talking about the United States because this is where I live. You cannot erase 400 plus years of slavery overnight. You would have to have 400 or 500 years from slavery. And we're not that far. Emmett Till was the 1950s. Right? We're not that far removed from slavery where all the white people are nice now. That shit is in their bloodline. It is in their DNA. You know how people say pit bulls are fucked up? The bloodline is fucked up. And you're like, no, but it's a puppy. He didn't learn anything yet, but the bloodline is fucked. They got the lockjaw. It's the same thing with some people. It is in their fucking DNA. And then they're growing up in a world where they feel superior and supreme to everybody. So it's a reflex. It's a reflex. Just like we have reflexes, white people have reflexes. They have privileged reflexes. Even the nice ones. Even the nice ones have that reflex. They automatically, oh, I got privilege. Wait a minute, right? It's a reflex. You just got to poke them a little bit, push them a little bit. And you know, I do that to people, right? You push them a little bit to see who they really are, right? A little nudge. So this motherfucker is on the panel talking about they told her it was going to be a safe space and she feels threatened by me. That is how they talk. Now, what would have happened to me had she said that in 1950? What would have happened to me in 1950 had she said that in 1950? And these motherfuckers want to see something happen to you. They want to. They want to. That's why they do it. Why else would they do it? Right? So we've seen a lot of videos like that. So Terrell Owens, the reason why I wanted to talk about this story is because his incident was super interesting to me for a couple different reasons. I'm going to play it right now. Because Terrell Owens is very, very square. He's a square black guy, right? He's a square black guy. And you can tell when he says the word Karen, he doesn't even sound like he's ever said it before. He just sounds like, oh, what do they call these irate white women? Karen. And he's saying it, but you can tell he's probably never said it before, right? He also says he's never been through anything like that before. That's because Terrell Owens is usually sweating on a white woman. He's usually not battling one, right? Let's keep it 100. Okay? He likes his snowflakes. Let's keep it 100, which is fine, right? So he's used to being the big black athlete that the white women want, right? He's like, hey, I've never been through this before. I'm sure you're a rich black guy, right? And you're into the lily whites. So I believed him when he said he hasn't been through that before. But I promise you, this white lady was trying to get Terrell Owens Emmett Tilled. She was trying to get Terrell Owens Emmett Tilled. Listen to what she says to the cops. Listen. I was like, whoa, shit. If it was 1950 and this woman said what she said, that man would have been lynched. And I'm going to play the video for you.
You didn't have to get out of your car.
You didn't have to talk to me that way either, Karen.
You're a black man approaching a white woman.
First of all, you had your boy right here, your husband right here. So first of all, I don't do that type of stuff.
Relax. You did. You put your car in park and you came at me.
First of all, I didn't come at you.
Yes, you did.
You can stop all of that, Karen.
Okay, listen.
Get out of here with all of that.
Listen, if you guys want me here, I can solve this.
He literally came after me.
Here she crying. There's Karen. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Swear to God, I've never been a part of nothing like this. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Do you have your ID?
I've seen it. Yes, I've seen it, but this is firsthand.
Let me play it one more time. Listen to what she says. Just one more time, okay?
You didn't have to get out of your car.
You didn't have to talk to me that way either, Karen.
You're a black man approaching a white woman.
First of all, you had your boy right here, your husband right here. So first of all, I don't do that type of stuff.
Relax.
You did. You put your car in park and you came at me.
First of all, I didn't come at you.
Yes, you did.
You can stop all of that, Karen.
Okay, listen.
Get out of here with all of that.
Listen, if you guys want me here, I can solve this.
He literally came after me.
Here she crying. There's Karen. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Swear to God, I've never been a part of nothing like this. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Do you have your ID?
I've seen it. Yes, I've seen it, but this is firsthand.
And I quote, "You're a black man approaching a white woman." You're a black man approaching a white woman, is what she said. Like, I was like, what year is this? You're a black man approaching a white woman. I was like, whoa, wow, whoa. Holy fuck. She said it, like, I get goosebumps. I'm sorry. I get goosebumps. Because she said it in a way, like, it is, don't you know it's forbidden for you, a black man, to approach a white woman? She said it so fucking naturally. Well, a couple decades ago, that would have resulted in that man's torture or death. But Terrell's like, I ain't never been through nothing like this. I mean, I heard about it. Okay, Karen. Sounded like he's never said that word before in his life. She started crying. Tears. You approached me. You came up to me. Help. Help me. So it proves we are not that far removed. A lot of these people have that shit in their fucking DNA. So I ask, are white tears still a threat to your life? Because had that cop been an asshole, I'll even simplify it further. Had Terrell Owens been Terrell Owens just from the neighborhood and not an athlete, just regular Terrell from the neighborhood, what do you think the outcome would be? Thank you, Don Levon. She said it like it was against the law. Black man approaching a white woman, how dare thee? That's forbidden here. And he's copping a plea and he's nervous. And you could even see it look like when a child gets in trouble. Like, well, wait, I didn't do that. You had your guy. I don't even do that. You had your guy there. I don't. And it does, like, fill you with a panic, because it's like, bitch, do you know I could get killed out here? It fills you with a panic. Like, bitch, you know when the cops come, I can fucking get killed? What the fuck are you saying? Like, stop saying that. Stop. What the fuck? You gonna get me killed? That is the reality. So I am fucking ecstatic that supposedly, allegedly, now they found that arrest warrant for the bitch that lied on Emmett Till. And they're trying to serve her with the arrest warrant. Went down to the fucking old folks' home where she's rotting away because she's still alive. Okay? That proves how we're not far removed from when shit like that happened. The bitch is still alive. The woman that got Emmett Till murdered is still alive. That's how recent it was. The movie's gonna drop. So this is still like fucking current. And I'm just like, I know you shouldn't be surprised, but the way she said, you're a black man approaching a white woman, and then the cops are on the scene. I don't know. I'm a little Umar on this one. Stick to your own. Just kidding. Fuck interracial. But it's like, and I want the Emmett Till accuser. I don't give a fuck if they have to wheel that bitch into court and then wheel that bitch into a cell. She deserves to do time for what she did. I don't give a fuck if she's deaf, dumb, blind, can't see no more, ain't got no teeth. They need to wheel that bitch into the court and then wheel that bitch into a cell. This is fucking insane. So I guarantee, had Terrell not been an athlete, because you know cops are enamored by athletes. They let athletes go all the time. They let athletes slide all the time. It didn't work for Amon Shumpert the other day at the airport. But cops rather get an autograph than have to file a police report for an athlete. You know it and I know it. So had he not been an athlete, I think that would have went another way, because these bitches in their white tears, ooh, they turn 5 years old on you real quick. They turn 5 years old on you. Oh my God, it's good. How's it been? I'm white. Do something. Real quick. They go white privilege to fucking 5-year-old victim like this. I saw it happen on a fucking panel with me, just a regular Zoom meeting for a fucking talk show. This bitch is in the box above me talking about, I feel threatened. You said this was going to be a safe space. Bitch. So are white tears still a threat to your life? I say yay, because it's definitely not nay. So I think Terrell Owens, that was an eye-opener for him, because he said he had never experienced that before. Welcome to the club. Hi. Have a seat. Welcome to the club. I mean, have you guys been through anything like that ever? I'm curious. Right? And again, if you're in this country, you probably experienced it more than once. You probably experienced it more than once. Them white tears are fucking dangerous. They're still dangerous to this day. And that is why I think it's so important for them to wheel that racist senior citizen into court and then into a cell. Because the Emmett Till story is a high profile case. Everybody knows about it. If you notice, they're talking about it like annually on our timelines. It's always on. It's not even a story that has gone away. It's always been news constantly. So seeing that so many people are aware of that story, I think it's important that Emmett Till's accuser gets prosecuted and goes to jail. Jail. I have not one fucking iota of sympathy. Not a one. I don't care how old grandma is. I don't care if she can't see here no more. She'll know where she at. Great. She won't know she's in a cell. Wonderful. But I think it's so fucking necessary before she dies. She's already in an old folks home. Okay? So she got a pink toe in the coffin already. Before she dies, I think it would be very, very important for the world to see, specifically this country, that she get prosecuted. My opinion. Some people may say it doesn't matter now. She's old. It doesn't matter. It matters. I mean, the Emmett Till movie is a recent thing, so it matters. But these bitches will get you chopped. No, Danny, it's white tears. Not a woman's tears. White tears is what got Emmett Till murdered. White tears. Because had a black woman said, that little boy done whistled at me. Had a black woman said, that little boy done whistled at me out here. I was minding my business. That little black boy done whistled at me. Had a black woman said that, Emmett Till would still be alive. So it's white tears. Not just the woman's tears. White. Lily white. Snowflake white. 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 Okay. I'm gonna drop the, like I said, I'm not gonna keep y'all long. We could kick it for a little bit. I'm gonna drop the link. Come up and let me know if you've ever experienced a white tear incident, which is now being called Karen. But you know, before the Karen, it was called white tears. But you know, I think what happened to Terrell Owens is actually more serious than a Karen, because a Karen to me is usually them white miserable bitches that complain about everything the fuck we do. We play our music too loud. We shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? It's like a complaining type bitch. But a motherfucker that when the cops pull up, get to crying, get to saying that you threatened her and you approached her like you was gonna assault her, that's worse to me than a Karen complaining that you got your music up too loud. To me, it's worse. I'm gonna let Haran up, and then I'll slide through the comments real quick. Hold on. What's up, Haran?
What's poppin'?
How you doing? I had to get this off my chest because that video, boy.
Yeah, it just seemed to affect you.
You just want to give them a reason to fucking be crying to the cops. Like, bitch, if I'm gonna get arrested. Kitten and Caskets, what's up, mama? She says, Jen, I hear you, but the day Emmett was taken out of the house, not one black man did anything. I don't care if everyone died. We would have died fighting. I'm with you. I'm with you. This shit's going to be biblical. Everybody's going to bleed. You are not taking a male relative out of my house. Everybody's going to bleed. But back then, things were so different. People were so conditioned to be fearful and be afraid, right? I can't even fathom what was going on in their minds, right?
Well, they still are, though. It's just a different, It's just a different degree of conditioning. But people still are conditioned to be afraid and not do shit.
Yes, you know, to this day, it's like, listen, some people have died fighting these crackers. They're no longer with us. And some people are like, I'm cool. I want to live. And I will live under any condition long as I live, right? Everybody's not burying me in the ocean. Don't people are rare. Everybody's not burying me in the ocean.
Nah. Some people just want to go home.
Some people just want to go home. Some people are like, don't you make no trouble for them good white folk. The eyes open. Don't you make no trouble for them good white folk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm so I'm sorry, but it's going. It's going. Everybody gonna bleed. You're not taking this boy nowhere, right? But it's so fucking sad. But this Terrell Owens thing is like, motherfuckers, like, this never happened to me before. I heard about it. Oh, must be nice, Terrell. Must be nice. A Jay-Z song comes to mind.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm just like, Pistol P said, Jen, you should have Star on here. I don't know if Star is live right now. Is he live? Star probably starting trouble on his own channel. The Star Report. That's what I'm talking about, the Star Report. Ron, did you see? Well, you saw the video because you was watching, right?
Right. I'm not surprised. She was very much on code. Actually, she said she was very much by the book. I mean, I predicted what was going to be said and when the tears were going to start. Oh yeah, this shit is muscle memory for these motherfuckers. I mean, you know how motherfuckers get into a karate stance or some shit like that, or oh yeah, when these white women get the
automatic. You have to be right. It has to be muscle memory. It has to be because it's automatic.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, man. I'll tell you some stories. I remember one time before. I'll tell you a story about myself, and I'll tell you a story about what happened at a guy at my job. Me personally, I was at the supermarket. You know what I mean? And you know, the only thing more dangerous than a Karen is an older Karen. You know what I mean? Because them old white women, they just really think they can get away with anything. So, you know, I mean, I'm online or whatever.
The older they are, the more convinced.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Vicious. They're vicious. They're vicious. So, you know, I'm online or whatever. You know, and you know, I'm going through the register, the belt and so on, and I think she was behind me. That happened so long ago that I can't remember all of the details, but I believe I was grabbing one of my items and she said that it was her item. I said, no, ma'am, this is my item. I know this is my item because I specifically eat this particular thing. You know what I mean? This is my item. And then she goes on and on. And man, I just took I basically just snatched the fucking shit from her. It was like, and I told her, I'll tell the clerk, ring that shit up, man. And then she got to crying and like, I want to talk to a manager. She did the whole theatrics, whatever. I sat there calmly, paid for my groceries, grabbed my bags, and left and looked at her and her dried up white coochie and told her, ma'am, you have a nice evening. And I'm not waiting around for you and no supervisor, no goddamn thing. I got shit to do. Now there was a guy at my job. This was even more serious because this almost cost him his career. He was messing with it was a black guy who was messing with a white woman. And you know, that can be kind of dangerous. Office romances, period. He was messing with a white woman, you know, when they was dating, whatever. And word is that she wanted things to be, you know, go down a more serious road. And he didn't want that to happen. He was just kind of like, nah, I'm just trying to get some ass, you know what I mean? And I guess she took it a certain way. He broke it off, whatever, like, you know what I mean, or whatever. Well, about maybe a day or two later, she filed a harassment claim, man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she said this dude was trying to force his way on her and whatever. Oh, yeah, this is motherfucker. He was in HR. They had to iron some shit out. And I'm like, and see, here's the thing. Under those circumstances, it got kind of dicey for him because in those situations, even if this white woman is lying, the company just wants the problem to go away so fast. So a lot of times in these corporate spaces, they'll just take the white woman's, you know what I mean, word for it, because they want the situation to go so fast. It was like,
that's the problem. That's the
you know what I mean?
That's the problem, that they automatically take their word for it. And sometimes they automatically take their word for it because they're afraid of what she's going to do if they don't take their word for it.
Right, right. And so, I don't really know what happened afterwards. I stopped following after a while, the situation and the office gossip on it. But last time I heard, I mean, it sounded like this guy's career was in peril, because it's like you don't want that kind of jacket, and you a man, period. But as a black man, you get that kind of jacket that, yeah, you got fired because of a sexual harassment charge. You're done. I don't care what industry you're in. You're pretty much finished. So, hopefully it worked out for him. But that's another situation where it's like, yeah, they'll weaponize their tears, man. And look, I don't know if I think you and I get into conversations a lot of times about white women, and I tell you all the time. I'm like, Jim, I mean, a lot of these white women ain't shit, man. They'll sit here and they will create these situations, you know what I mean, to put to empower themselves and to weaponize, you know what I mean, whatever, form of manipulation to have people shift the narrative in their direction. Look, listen, a number of policies and a number of laws have passed because white men have given in to white women. They have given in to the pressures of white women. And then now white men are sitting there talking about, oh, she gets this and that, she did this, yeah, she does, because guess what? Your brothers in arms gave it to her. So it's kind of your fault, you know what I mean? And so on. Let's tell you something, man. The white man, at the end of the day, I see it very hard for him to stand up to the white woman most of the time, man. He just gives I don't know what it is, man. He just gives her anything she wants, and that's it.
You don't think yeah, but if you let the white manosphere tell it, they got white women under their shoe.
Man, ain't got no white women under their shoe, man. None of these dudes ain't got no white women under their shoe. Let me tell you something. Any one of these dudes, let them go to work. Let them go to work right now, because some of these guys, I'm sure, have regular jobs. Let them go to work, and let them go to YouTube, whatever they do, and let them get caught up with one harassment charge, just one, and see what happens. See what happens. See what happens, and let it sound halfway believable, and let them be black. You know what I mean? And shit like that. I mean, like, look, man, let's keep it real. Kelly's allowed to move because ain't nobody white came to the table. Okay, if there was a white woman involved in any of that R. Kelly situation, R. Kelly would have been out of here before, you know what I mean, the turn of the 2000s. But anyway, I say this to say, yes, white female tears, yes, those can be a dangerous weapon for everyone. For everyone, because I've seen white men go down because of it.
Jabari, if you're still here, Jabari says movies have agendas too. We have to be cognizant of the why they do movies and explore the history behind the story. Just saying. Jabari, what you trying to say? We should have watched the Emmett Till movie. Someone said that Terrell Owens is from Alabama, and they're sure he's experienced something before. I'm like, wow, so that's interesting. He's from Alabama. He says he's never went through anything like that before. That's interesting. Alabama.
Maybe he personally never went through that before. I mean, this guy was Terrell Owens. He was spending a number of his life. He was spending a large portion of his life building to be Terrell Owens. So the life of a sports phenomenon is not the life of a regular person.
True.
You're working out. People are kissing your ass half the time. White women actually want to get pregnant by you. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So they're not going to experience stuff like that. Now, had he been Terrell Owens still in his prime right now, still have some form of notoriety, I don't think he would have gone through this. He's washed up Terrell Owens now. He's a regular washed up, dark skinned black man.
How tall is he? A big old black man.
I mean, yeah, exactly. He's a big black brute. So come on, man. He's a target of anything in these particular situations.
Okay, Tristan, I see you. Tristan said if they had these white women under them like they claimed, they would not have cheered as hard as they did when Johnny Depp won. They were acting like, boy, when Johnny Depp won, they were acting like it was the second coming of white Jesus.
I mean, they did. They did. They thought that, well, you know, a number of them believe that this is some sort of turning point where men can be treated fairly in the courtroom and yada yada and so on and so forth. Nah, your average white male ass is still gonna get railroaded.
Correct.
You're still only gonna see your kids on the weekends, and your child support will still be $2,000 a month. It's still going down like that.
You still gonna be cursing out all women and anything with the line.
Exactly. You'll still be on Reddit.
Said it happened to me before and she didn't get the outcome that she wanted. Good, because they sure do be aiming for that outcome. They sure do be aiming for that outcome, boy. When the cops are on the scene. Tristan says, listen, that man lived in Alabama and his father lived across the street from him, and he never met his father until he got drafted, only in Alabama. Damn.
Yeah, that sounds like some real Negro shit right there. God damn.
How your daddy live across the street and you don't know him?
I mean, hey, man, they got people who got literal siblings, right, and that they go to school with, and they don't even know. So it happens.
Don Levon said white men cheered for Johnny Depp to remind white women to stay in their place, which is below them. Well, even with the Roe versus Wade thing, I mean, all the men were like, yeah, that'll teach y'all.
I don't know. Because it's like, you see, here's the problem. Here's the problem with the Roe versus Wade situation that I don't think anybody's really thinking about. If you give that particular kind of power and that just concept to 50 individual states, everybody's going to have the opportunity to put their own spin on it. Mm-hmm. If they even if they allow it. So, you know, if no one is under one unanimous, understanding and an umbrella, and everybody's kind of doing their own thing with such a sensitive topic, then how is that a win for everyone? It might be a situation where things will get even far worse. And another thing too is that they're also changing child support laws. They might be changing some child support laws at some particular time. I don't know.
Yeah, and now they're able they're charging them dues for child support while the baby is still in the belly.
Okay. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah, better strap up.
I think I'm one and done, man. I got my daughter, and that's about it, man. I don't think I want a son.
Salute to you. Me too.
I do want a son, but I don't know if I want to take that gamble. And I'll be honest with you. If I go out there and I have another girl, oh Jesus, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just not something I want to deal with right now.
Yes. What's up, Mr. T? How are you?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How are you? What's up? What you got to say on this?
Boy, a lot I could say. It's quite late over here, but I'll get my 2 pence in worth. You know what I mean? Basically, yeah. Oh, by the way, my girlfriend said you look very nice. By the way, so my girlfriend said she's 48. She looks wicked. She gave you props.
Oh, you know what I mean? Thank you. I like that. Wicked. I'll take it.
You've gone global now. You've gone global. Sorry. No, but anyway, I'll tell you what it is. Yeah. Don't forget, yeah. In the UK, London especially, we have the highest rate of interracial dating, don't we? Like over here, 50% of black men have partners outside the race, as opposed to America, where I think your ratio is 2 to 4%. Am I correct?
Wow, I don't.
Roughly? Yeah.
I did not know that.
Huh?
I did not know that. I can't
Yeah.
speak to
No.
that.
Yeah. No. Ask that to like 50% of black men, roughly 48 between 48 and 50 between 48 and 50% of black men in the UK have partners outside their race. That's a statistic which is perceived to be fact. In the States, it's much lower, 2 to 4%. I know that. You can Google it, look it up. The thing is, you know, don't forget one important thing over here, which is very imperative, is the aspect of class. You know what I mean? Because class, you know, we got obviously the upper echelons, upper class, whatever, lords, whatever you want to call them, middle class, and you got the general working class. The thing is, you know, like I said, there's a lot of interracial dating across the board. But if you're like, you know, and it's kind of like, see, over here in London, yeah, and I think this is the appeal for a lot of Americans, is that you can, you know, go to a cafe in central London, you know, Westbourne Park, wherever, all those places, Camden, and you have a crazy mix of people. Like, you know, you can have like someone who's, you know, middle class, upper class. It's just one big crazy mix. You know what I mean? I actually know people who are like close to government, just like going out and about and chatting and being sociable and yeah, take my number, blah blah blah. Reason why it gets kind of mad, yeah, and it goes back to what you're saying, is this whole white tears thing is big over here. Because anyhow a brother gets, you know, dare I say it, a woman that happens to be white, if you dare get a Caucasian sister in tears, you're in trouble, especially if it's a dating scenario. Because, you know, in the media, they present the interracial coupling or whatever, where be it celebrities or footballers, but there's always this undertone of the bad black guy, or that, you know, dare I say it, it's a right-wing term, but they wait for that moment for the black man to, like, dare I say it, they say chimp out, where that black man's real innate being will come out. A lot of it's psychological. Like, they have this stereotype where the black man is some kind of beast, you know what I mean? And this is where it gets crazy, yeah? Back to what you're saying, yeah? Hate to go on. I don't want to, you know, hate to go on. It's deep.
So in the
Sorry?
UK,
Yes.
UK, so white tears is a thing out there too? Because
listen.
No, but let me explain. We hear a lot of British black actors who speak on America, and they say that they don't experience racism the way we do here.
Yeah, I know what they mean. Right. Let me say it. Let me address that. A lot of UK actors that go over there to the States, whatever. Yeah. Right. The racism here is very subtle, okay? Whereas in America, it's in your face. That's what they're saying. And and I've always argued that from jump. You know what I mean? I think American racism, it's like going to Germany or parts of you, when you go to Europe, they tell you straight, you're a nigger. You know what you are. And they have the looks, the microaggressions, you know what you are. Yeah. Paris, oh Lord, you know what you are. America now, you guys get it. See, the difference is it's in your face in America, whereas in the UK it's subtle. It's look at Meghan Markle, classic example. Yeah, it was the microaggressions that got to her, like Princess Markle of Kent wearing the little black roach with the black face on it. All these little angles they want on you, all these little tricks and games. That's how they get you, and that's what she didn't like. The thing is, people were saying, "Hey, Meghan, what's your problem?" They weren't seeing it because it's so subtle. They know what they're doing. But the white tears thing now, that's big, because when things don't go their way, like in America, they start crying. And if you're a brother in the wrong environment with a white partner and things flare up, your ass is grass. You're in trouble. Especially if it's like those.
I thought that of the UK. Interesting.
Sorry?
I wouldn't have thought that of the UK. Interesting.
Well, what's your view on the UK? Sorry, Jen. What's your perception of the UK?
What the actors say, because the actors make it sound like we don't experience that over here, and it's not the same type of thing. So I was like, wow, it must be nice in the UK for black folk.
Well, I can answer that. It's how you're measuring it. I mean, the argument is, oh, a lot of mixed race couples here, it's a utopia, but it's not. You know what I mean? Because the whole Black Lives Matter, the whole Black Lives Matter thing, if that was the case, it would not have affected the UK like it did. Because there was marches out here, there was protests, it was crazy out here. It's a myth. I mean, racism is everywhere. And I know what you mean on the surface and the way it looks, yeah. And this is why I'm going to get deep now. Okay. Very few white people in the UK date interracially, right? And it's a numbers thing, okay? Let me break it down. There's 68 million, you there?
Yeah.
Sorry. There's 68 million people in the UK, yeah? Only, we are between 2 and 3% of the population being black people, yeah? So when you think about it, you know, when you consider that half the black men have white partners, yeah, on the whole scale of things, that's a very, very, very small amount of white people. That's like you know, I mean, it's a minuscule amount of white people out of the whole population of 68 million people. And don't forget, even by numbers alone, there's very few. There's actually people in the UK that haven't even seen a black person in person. Because when you look at it demographically, yeah, think about it, yeah. If they're up north somewhere, way out up north, and you know, doing their own thing, some farm somewhere, they've never seen a black person in their life apart from Beyonce and Michael Jackson. It's fucked up. And like my white friend said, my white friend broke it down brilliantly. Goes, because there's an interracial bar like you go to. Goes, no, it's not mixed. It's too white. Like, what do you mean? There's black people here. Goes, no, check it out. There's groups of white people, but the one black, like America, you have a group of 10 people, there'll be one black person there. So when you times it by a certain amount of groups, it looks more than what it is.
Were you born and raised in the UK?
Of course, yeah. I've got first-hand experience. And the mad thing is, yeah, when I went to America, I went to the States for a little while, yeah. I had more in my face racism in the States in the course of, let's say, 3 weeks than I had in the UK in my entire life. I mean, face to face, in your face, proper. Police looking at you like, who are you? Going in the shops. When they one shop in Atlanta, this Asian guy just staring me out like he went to fight. Like, who the fuck are you? And it was serious. I mean, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I'll never forget, in London, I'm kind of well known, isn't it? So I'm like, and so you want to fight, innit? But the problem is, in your country, you got guns. You got guns. So you have to tone it down. But yeah, the white tears thing, that's one of their best weapons. Because they start crying and if you're a brother, it looks bad. I think the brother above, I caught the end of what he said about having a son. Is he there? Yeah, he said about having a son, and he has a fear of having a son. And I kind of feel I see what he means, because and don't forget over here, one key thing before I go, sorry to cut you. You guys have more opportunities in terms of there's more of a structured middle class in America, whereas over here, only one or two will get through the gate. You know what I mean? They're very, you know what I mean? They're very cliquey. It's very one or two, or you know, you won't. I don't think you'll ever see a black prime minister in this country. Ain't gonna happen.
Interesting. What do you feel? Because people in the chat are talking about your accent. How do you feel when someone says real British people are white, Europe is a white continent? Someone said they'd rather listen to a real Brit, and I guess they mean a real Brit is white. How do you feel about that? Because you were born and raised in the UK, right?
Right. I'll answer that. I guess I am a real Brit. And it's funny you say that, because, again, and this goes down your street, because I know you're very much a thinking woman. When I was in the West Indies, I was on holiday. Some of the people there were coming up to me saying, oh, blah, blah, blah. How you doing over here, white guy? And I'm black. So so it's kind of messed up, yeah. Black people are calling me a black person, a white person. What they really mean to say is you're English. But it's kind of messed up. It's like, I guess America being the majority white, and me calling you, I guess well, you're Latino, but it's like me calling you, you know, white or something. It's a total messed up dynamic, and I couldn't get my head around it. And a few people I know experience that as well. Light skinned folk go to West Indies, and the mad thing is, they're saying to you, "Oh, you're a white boy, come here," and you're like, "What? I'm not white, I'm black." So it's a whole mad. Race is a crazy social dynamic when you look at it that way. It's crazy. You know what I mean? And yes, I'm a true Brit. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Let's welcome Camel Beauty to the panel. Mr. T, someone says, are both your parents British? I guess they're fascinated with your accent. They want to know, are both your parents British?
I'll answer that. I can't see. Sorry, I can't see the chat. But
okay.
But both my parents are from the West Indies, like in the West Indies. So I was, I'm more or less a first generation Black British person here. So I came up. Well, I was born in the 70s. I was 20 in 1990. My time was the public enemy.
There's like a feed. Someone's breathing on a mic or something. Who is that?
It's not me. Is there breathing?
No.
It's like
it's not me.
It was you. What's up, Kitten and Caskets?
Hi.
Sorry.
Hey, I wanted to ask. I wanted to make a statement or ask a question. To the British gentleman.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you. I seen a documentary maybe like a year ago. It was about a Black Lives Matter activist that was in the UK. And one thing that I found, and she was dark skinned and she had like blonde hair. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Was it the girl? Okay, was it the girl who got shot in London?
I don't know. I just ended up running across it. But one thing that stood out to me was the comment section. And I was very surprised of the things that I seen in the comment section. Like literally the entire, I think it was from the DW channel. I think it's like a German content channel or like documentary channel, something like the BBC or something like that. And it's here on YouTube. And the comment section was so racist. And I'm American, so being American and you have racism in your face, the things that I heard them saying about this woman, it amazed me because even in our comment sections, I never seen anything like this. And it wasn't just white people that was doing it, it was also Black people as well that had these comments that is there. And the question that I have for you, because I noticed that a lot of Afro-British people have a stigma that they believe about African Americans and how slavery has impacted us here in North America and including Puerto Rico as well.
Yep.
Is there a difference? What is the actual difference? Because is it a thing where is it a shame there where there's something that you just want to put it in the past and you don't want to discuss it? Like, what is it?
Yeah. I think what it is see your legacy to slavery is much closer. Like a lot has been passed down. And in all fairness, when you consider the element of time and history, slavery wasn't that long ago, was it? You know what I mean? How it did the whole, what we're looking 400 years. That's not a long period of time in when we look at the whole continuity of time. So you've got that closer, and don't forget the 60s as well. No, that's only the 60s, which isn't too, which isn't too far away. So what it is there was this thing. I mean, most of them came from Jamaica, Africa, came to the UK, and they've only came there in the 60s and 70s. Okay, so although you've had a longer period of time in the States, we've actually come here in the 60s and 70s, and there's a lot of playing the game to get by. You know what I mean? You guys, to an extent, don't play the game because when you look at it in the big picture, in the big scale of things, America's still very segregated. It's segregated, in my opinion. Like you have blacks, in some cases, blacks over here, whites over there, and they let black people do their own thing. Hence why, going back to what I said earlier, black people can come up and, you know, if you're, there was a time when if you was aspirational, had your education, if you're a black guy, you can go there because it's the land of opportunity, right? Whereas over here, you have to wait for your moment, wait for that moment, wait for a break. Okay, so you know, over here, you know, like my cousin from Barbados, there who came over. It's like they keep black people down over here. I want to go to America, and I go, I see your point of view. Over here, we're kept down. Okay, and they know this. They know this. You know, over here we're kept down, and you know, one or two will get through, but generally speaking, you know, they want to keep it all to themselves. Yeah, and that's how it goes.
Did he answer your question?
Somewhat. So with America being under the British rule when we gained our independence, and when America was founded or whatever, do you think that plays a part in your place in the UK as an African man or of African descent, a man of African descent, because you know, we were the whites here was also under the royals at the time, and then we actually gained our independence, and then you know, we still had slavery, and then shortly after black slaves, you know, was freed from slavery. So do you think that the fact that you are in a white country, where is that, is that what it is?
That's a very good question. That's a brilliant question. The thing is, yeah, when I was in the West Indies where I was 98% black, okay, and it's a different feel, different experience, yeah. When I was in Atlanta for a little while, again, I was around affluent black people, you know, wealthy black people. I'm like, wow, this is how I want to live. You know, you're meeting a Leah lookalike every 2 minutes, meeting a Haley Berry every 2 minutes, and they're hitting on you. You're seeing rich, wealthy black guys passing business cards. It's like a black utopia. Well, at the time, you know what I mean. I think, and this is a key point. It is a white-dominated country in terms of numbers, yeah. But this is where it gets very sticky, yeah. White people say black people aren't getting through because they're a minority, yeah. Like by numbers alone, you know, if there's, say, like in London, one black person in every 9, they're saying on numbers alone, yeah, you'll have this opportunity because it's more of a white people's country, yeah. All right, that's the theory, right? The counter argument, yeah, is hold on a second then. When I look at all these soccer teams, half of them are black, yeah. So it's the question, therefore, yeah, is it goes around in circles, yeah. Is that my argument has always been this: black people are a small number of people over here in this country. Why not let them through the gate? Why not give them all the opportunities? Because they're a small number anyway. They can't take over. You know what I mean? So you might as well let them through the gate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I think where you're coming from. So historically, I think you gained your independence. America moved forward. The UK, obviously, you know, we're giving a lot of countries their independence because, as a byproduct of imperialism, it became a burden. So it made sense to give them their independence and become trading partners. That was the plan, yeah. And you know, to an extent, it works. I mean, the UK and Africa, for example, we all know Africa has all the raw materials. They put a puppet leader there, or someone who's going to play the game, and they play it that way and give them their independence. So yeah, you know what I mean. But historically, boy, yeah.
So
I think our history is very recent. Sure.
The last question I want to ask you is, has there been, or is there talk about any reparations for black people in
the UK?
The UK.
Yeah, that's been an ongoing thing. A lot of Jamaicans, as you know, like I said, majority of people came from Jamaica, and the ones here now asking for reparations. They're saying, hold on, this other race has got reparations. Where's our reparations? And that's, if you Google it, Google UK reparations slavery, and you'll get quite a bit of information about that. You know what I mean? So basically, that is a movement that's been happening for a little while now. My personal opinion, should they give reparations? I'm going to say no. Yeah. And you know
I
why I'm
agree.
going to say no? You know what? I'll tell you why I'm going to say no. I mean, in the States, maybe you can say yes, because a lot of Americans have made their mark. You've got a black middle class over there, especially black people to look up to, and in a way it's kind of separate. So that's different. If you give black people reparations over here, that will therefore give white folk and those in power an excuse to say, okay, we gave reparations now, that's it. No more equality. We're giving you that now. We're giving you black people reparations. We're giving you your £300 million, whatever it is. That's it. And although black folk have the money, yeah, they won't get the opportunities because white people would then shut the door. Yeah. And dare I say this, and go back to the old Tony now of before and Jen's videos. If give black folk money, they're gonna waste that. That money, if they give them the £300 million, that's gone next week. I'll give it 5 days. That money's gone at the black community. And I'll tell you why. Black people we don't own anything over here. That's the issue. So they'll buy the German BMW as a status symbol. They'll show off and pose, buy champagne and drink, champagne in the club, pose and do their madness. And that £300 million is going to be gone. There'll be no investment, no buying properties, no start up businesses, be none of that. When that money's gone, they then run back to the white man. Hey, we want more reparations. No. Doesn't work like that. Sorry.
Well, the
sorry.
same argument is used for blacks in America.
Yeah.
They
This
use
is it.
that
I
same
know.
argument.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, one thing I've learned is that you guys are more entrepreneurial. Yeah. You guys are more like, an aspiring brother in America knows about marketing, knows about these things at a young age. Yeah. We guys, we didn't grow up like that. I had to do my degrees and learn about things to learn those things. I mean, I hate to go on, but one time, it was one of the best learning curves I ever had. Yeah. It was over in London. Me and my boy went out. One of my peoples went to a dance over here. My friend was DJ and he brought his friend. And the funny thing was, his friend was American. My friend was American. So we came back in the car, driving, talking. And it's like these two guys we didn't know each other. We're talking a different language. Talking about, on the market this, on the market that. Because, talking all marketing techniques. Me and my friend were like, what? We know he's getting girl and partying. But these guys are on some different level, talking about business, this, business, that. And, all credit to the brother. He's doing quite well now in central London, because these guys are you guys are more entrepreneurial, you know how to invest, you know how to put money. Hence why in Atlanta, I guess, maybe in those areas, that's why you got so much black wealth. As opposed to over here, we've got the black wealth, but we don't own anything. But the shops, I'm going to start ranting now. I'm going to stop. The shops over here, a lot of the black hair care shops are owned by Asian people and people outside the community.
I mean, I would say it's the same here in America. It's the same. I mean, we have billionaires and we have, business owner. We're making millionaires every day, especially now because it's so many ways to make money, and you have the internet or whatever, and the beauty supply stores and the nail salons is ran by Asian people, and
Okay. Hold on, Mrs. T. Before we end for the night, Kitten and Casket, since you're the only lady that camped up for me, can you let me know, what do you think about the topic? Are white tears still a threat to your life? What do you think about the Terrell Owens incident? Like, what do you think?
So it's so much to go with that. In one part, I believe that black men do play a part in it. I'm sorry. I believe that everyone is watching, watching. I'll give you an example. The response that black men had to you when you said, I don't want you, or I don't want them, or you know, in the general aspect of like, look, basically what I got from it was like, I'm not searching for them. Like, you know, it's not like I'm just here searching for them. They're searching for me. And they became so, you know, upset about, you know, that comment. And I think that there's I think that the things that they are saying pretty much give these women this confidence to behave the way that they do. I think that another issue is that when we are putting our wealth outside of our communities, you get what you ask for. You know, Terrell moved into a community of white people, and I don't to me it was so basically it's like, to me it was not a surprise. It's like, okay, yeah, she's supposed to do that. They do that in their community. They check in it, you know, they run their community, you know, a certain way, and you're pretty much the outsider in their community, whereas that you could have create with all the money that you know, got from the NBA, you could have bought some land and established a community of houses of Black people who are who are of a higher income value, and you didn't decide to do that. So, you know, like they say, you know, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And I think honestly that he should not have recorded it, and because it looks really bad. He would have been better off just not putting it on tape and just went on ahead with his incident privately and let it go.
So you think it looks bad on him?
Him and also men who think like him. I think it does. It's embarrassing. Like the white woman is going to act like the white woman does. Like, she did nothing wrong but be the white woman she is. Like, what do we expect from her? You know what I'm saying? Like, what else do we think we're gonna get? Like I told you in the chat, like, I went through this experience because I live in a high earning area that's like a new development. It's not many Black people. I was walking my dog one day, and this white woman that was in a raggedy 1995 Pathfinder that didn't even live where I live at got out of her car, and she literally walked up to me in my face to the point where her nose was almost touching my nose. And I thought it was because she was looking at my dog. I have a Bernedoodle, which is, you know, a lot of people don't see them often. They're a newer breed of dog. It's a big fluffy dog that looked like, you know, a teddy bear. So I thought she was just being friendly and was like, oh, I want to see the dog. And she was like, why, like something about like, why don't you have a bag for the poop? And my community provides those bags. And, you know, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. I know you know what I mean, Jen, where they have like the little thing for the dog poop, the bags or whatever, and they put them in like dog parks and stuff like that. And my community provide those, and I was like, oh, you know, yeah, like my community, they're here, they're there. And, you know, she walked away, and as she was walking away, she called me a fucking liar. She was like, you're a fucking liar. And I literally inside felt like I was set on fire. It took so much out of me to not slap the hell out of her. And I just pretty much told her, like, ma'am, you need to get the fuck out of my face, or you need to go ahead and call 911 now, because this is not going to end the way that you think that it is. And, you know, she saw, you know, my behavior and the way that I was feeling, and she went on about her fucking business. And I can't say that that's not the only thing. Like, I have people who lock the door when they walk in and don't think I live there, so they hurry up and run through the door so that the door closed, and I have to use my, you know, key or whatever to get in the building. And that's what it is. So, but I understood that when I moved there, it's not surprising to me. So I don't feel like, I feel like this is what it is for him. Like, that's what it is. I think he's also married to a white woman or something or whatever. Most of the children that he had, which is like 25, is by women of other races. So if he hasn't did the racism out of them yet, I don't know I don't know. Like, that's his own issue. So I'm not gonna say I side with her, but she did exactly what I expect her to do.
Right. I understand. Like, you don't side with her, but you don't feel sorry for him because he frequents those communities. He dates
exactly.
Communities.
This is what he does.
That's something.
I mean, it's sad that we all will one day. Even for me, that moment, I spent the majority of my life. I recently retired from the military, and I always was privileged and was able to live a certain way. And that was the first time that happened to me. So I was like, Terrell, I was like, well, how did she? Me? My son even says things like that. My son got pulled over a few weeks ago, and he called me and was like, Mom, I got pulled over and the police is harassing me. And we bought him a nice luxury Lexus. And I told him that when you ride certain areas to watch out. And he really thought that it didn't matter for him. And he called me and was like, Mom, the police pulled me over. And I was like, okay. And he was like, but I didn't do nothing. And I was like, but I told you this was going to happen. And he really did. Sometimes you got to get a reality check. And he got his. And unfortunately, it was later on in life. And now he should just move on. Maybe he'll make better decisions and his, way of thinking to change, and he can make some better for other Black men. I don't know.
Okay. Well, first, thank you for your service.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Jerron.
Ma'am, your name again?
You can call me Camel. It's fine. Because my name is Camel Beauty on here, but my name online is Kitten Caskets. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just call you Kitten Caskets.
You can just call me ma'am. Kittens, whatever.
Okay.
You see the name.
Quick question. Do you think that white men contribute to the behavior of white women?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. Because white men, so we pretty much fall under, as women, the status of our men. And as we know, white men run everything, and they're entitled because they do. And their women feel entitled because they know that more than likely they'll get away with their behavior.
Okay, so under that understanding, is it safe to say that going into any situation dealing with a white woman, she's going to be coming from that space of privilege and understanding initially, whether you're white, whether you're Black, Asian, so on and so forth?
I wouldn't say that. I'm not going to say that because, like I said, I spent the majority of my adult life in the military, so I've worked with all kinds of people, and you just don't know. You never know. But what for me, my thought process, and what I would hope that my son and any other Black man would do is to expect it, because it's that it's possible, that it can happen, and you should already be prepared for these situations because it's happening more now. It's kind of like going back to like how the 40s and 50s was, where white women can say anything and then Black men will be lynched and whatever the case may be, and that's what it was. So I think that Black men need to prepare themselves in case they do encounter incidents like this. I've seen Black men that is delivering packages and white women will come in their face and ask them why they're in the neighborhood and they in the Amazon uniform, and also inside of and also a UPS or whatever. And I think that you should be prepared for it. I don't think that all of them are that way, but I think that I never thought that would happen to me. You never know when it's going to happen. I was at home. This woman didn't live where I lived at, so that's what it is.
So correct me if I'm wrong. In the beginning of your statements, did you say something to the effect of the white woman's behavior is attributed to the Black man? Something around that. I'm paraphrasing right now. I can't remember.
I wouldn't say the entire Black man, the Black. I believe that Black. So you got to understand. So this is why we have to be responsible for what we're saying, and especially to the public online, because whether people want to believe it or not, right now everyone, including the FBI and the CIA and the police and whatever, is listening to our conversation. So when you constantly have men online that is worshiping white women and saying these things, they hear it. So they automatically assume that what is the movie called Birth of a Nation, the original Birth of a Nation, where white people talked about, they was probably trying to push this agenda that Black men lusted for white women and they're going to rape you and they're going to do all this other stuff. And what happened was the president of the United States at the time, which I think was President Roosevelt, he really pushed this movie. So it almost like he gave it life. Like, this is a real life thing. Every time a Black man, is in front of you, white woman, he wants you, and be careful, because if you don't give it to him, he might rape you. So it's not Roosevelt that's pushing it. We are pushing it ourselves, and specifically Black men. When you're getting in front of the media every day with thousands and thousands of videos that's saying that every woman in the world want me, I'm the most desirable, and white women are always love me, and I prefer white women over this and this and that, and or whatever. You have to take responsibility for your words, because that's not always correct. And unfortunately, in Terrell's situation, after however many years I'm pretty sure he's probably pushing 50, if he's not 50. He got it at an old age. So yes, I do think Black men play a part in this.
Okay, that is a fair assessment. No, I just wanted to basically, before I spoke on it, I just really wanted to have a clear understanding of your perspective.
Yeah.
And yes,
Yeah,
I do.
we
I
got
do
to.
believe
Everything is
that.
not for everybody. With the issue with Kevin Samuels, a lot of things that Kevin Samuels said, I did agree with, but it was so much more that I didn't agree with. And the reason why was that he didn't make it clear to the audience that he was talking to, because the majority of men that followed him did not qualify for what he was saying. And he was very irresponsible for his words. It's not like most of us hate him. It's like now you got a group of gremlins running around calling themselves alphas and high value men, and all women want me. So when you believe this so much and a woman declines you, this is a dangerous thing. So yes, our words are dangerous, and you have to be very careful of the message that you are spilling out. And you also have to make sure that people know that this is who I'm speaking to. If you don't qualify for that, this is not for you, right, Jen? If you don't qualify for Jen, you shouldn't think that you're obligated to get Jen because you think that you're the most desirable in the world, because Kevin Samuels told you so. And that's why the reaction to her when she did that interview was so bad from Black men, was because they have been told by everybody, including their mothers, I'm at fault, I have a son, where we tell them that they're the best thing in the world, and there's nothing that you can't have, and there's nothing better than you. And when Jen told them, sir, I don't want you. This is exactly what I want, whether you like it or not. I'm not going to change it. I don't care who said it. This is what I want. And if you don't qualify for that, then you're not the person for me. Now you have all these men who are in their feelings and, feeling insecure because they really are thinking that these words that was said by a man was true. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's a very fair perspective. A fair perspective.
And that's the thing, Camo, that it's like, it's fine to have an opinion, it is fine to preach it, but it's not for everybody. And when you create masses of people that don't qualify for your words, it creates chaos, it creates vitriol, it creates entitlement. And that's the issue. Similar to what you said, that's the only issue that I had with Kevin Samuels. Not that he was on YouTube, we're all on YouTube, we're all spewing our opinion, but that he radicalized people. He made people vitriolic. He made people feel like I'm entitled to whatever, to the point where a woman cannot go online and say, you're not my preference, without getting attacked.
Right.
We can't say that anymore. We can't say, no, this is my type, that's my type, because people are like, no, you're supposed to like what I am giving you, because Kevin Samuels told me I'm a high value man and you're nothing. And that's
right.
He was very irresponsible in that way. And it's like, we can't even speak on that because it's like, oh, you didn't like Kevin Samuels. I'm like, Kevin Samuels didn't affect me in any way, shape, or form, but he did leave mobs of people that do make it dangerous for women. That's my only issue with him. The rest of
You know, as much as I can't stand Kevin Samuels, and I'm not gonna lie, in any manosphere person, I will say that some of his message did sink into me. You know, when you got a man every day that's coming on saying men want funny, friendly, fit, and whatever he's saying, it's kind of like something that's programmed in your mind, and it's like, oh, you want that? I'm gonna give you that. And Jen, I believe that the biggest issue is that you showed up as just that, and then turned them down. So it's like you can't say that she's not fit, attractive. You know, you might say something about her age, but had she not told me her age, I would have never known, you know, how old she was. And in reality, if you had the opportunity, you would not say no. So the issue is that they have nothing to say. It's like, yeah, I'm all of that, and I'm a Latina. You know, when Kevin said that, you know, Latinas is the Black woman competition and all this other stuff, I'm that too. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you have no chance with me if you cannot check off these blocks that I have right here. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to accept, and I'm not going to take anything for less, no matter how much money you make. And I applaud you for that, and that was I think that was very eye-opening for some of these superficial men who really do believe that they can be short, fat, ugly, and have a body odor, and because they make six figures times 3 or whatever years or whatever he said, that they should have access to you. I think that you actually was able to point out, no, you don't qualify. Kevin Samuels wasn't talking to you.
Exactly. Here's it. Trevor Jackson said Jen is average. There's nothing average about me, but I guarantee you're average. But this is a great example of the men he left behind. They think that they can just tell women anything and diminish them. Nothing about me is average.
Right.
You can, as he says, he loves my content. All good. To FBA Nigel, yes, I do know how to cook collard greens. I do. You want some collard greens?
But
you put neck bones in there, Jen?
Even with the thing with the collard greens, like I like well, before I was married, and I dated Hispanic men, and I can say that before I was married or whatever. So I don't want my husband to get upset that the Hispanic man was like my best lover, and I liked the things that I liked about him was not the things that was in comparison or a stereotype of Black people. I like experiencing a culture that was different from mine. I'm pretty sure that Puerto Rican people, in particular women who cook, have their own recipe for collard greens. So or you and your spouse, if you're married to a Black man or you with a Black man, can go out and get the original soul food collard greens from a Black restaurant. So it's almost like an insult to get with a woman of another culture and try to make her be of the culture that you come from. If that's the case, you should have stayed with the culture. You get what I'm saying? It's a perfect mixture of you want your cake and eat it too. No, you're gonna eat whatever it is that we cook, what I cook. If you want collard greens all the time on Sunday, and I don't cook collard greens on Sunday the way that you want it, then this is not the person for you.
I have actually, you said that the fit feminine thing. I have merch, you guys. I literally have merch now. And my first t-shirt out says fit feminine, not friendly. Okay, ladies.
Right.
You want that? I have it in t-shirts, the yoga tanks, and the little workout tops. It says fit feminine, not friendly, because we don't owe anybody friendly. Okay.
Right.
We don't owe anybody friendly. And fit and feminine is for us. Okay. So
from my experience, and I said, I met you on Nate channel, and I never once saw you be unfriendly until you had to, and you had every right to check these bitches. Like, it is what it is. Don't be mad because you're ugly. I understand what it's like to go
You
through that. It
see
is
that? I'm
like
like,
I went through holding my tongue and not wanting to like trying to understand where these women are coming from. But if I don't if I came to you with grace, you should give me grace back no matter how you feel about yourself. And I have never seen you be unfriendly.
that's the and the thing is that they came in hot. You seen it. They came in hot. I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm just sitting here having a conversation. They came in hot. The people come in hot because they had their own personal issue. And it has nothing to do with you, really. Like, their issue wasn't really me. Their
Yeah,
issue
they came in. I remember. I tried not to come up, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna. You was calm and you held your own, but when you said it was like certain things that I was just like, you're mad at her because she date black men. You also mad at her because she said she didn't identify as black, and then you mad if she do identify as black. So it was kind of like it's nothing that she can do. I was sitting there listening the whole time, so I understood the entire issue. It had nothing to do with black or Latina or whatever. It had something to do with the fact that they were ugly. And I mean, I'm sorry to be honest, but it is what it is. Like, you can fix that. You can lose weight. You can go to the gym. It's easier to be a friend than a foe. If anything, you should have been like, you know what, I like her. I like what I see. And maybe, I can get some tips from her on how I can, lose weight and be a little bit more confident. But they didn't do that. And as a black woman, although I am, lighter in complexion or racially ambiguous or whatever, that's one of the things that bother me so much, that a lot of black women, instead of embracing the women that they envy, they continue to envy them and make themselves look like an ass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't mind having, I was invited there to have a conversation. And I don't mind having conversations because I think sometimes there's a lot of misunderstandings between us. And then men do sometimes pit women against women. And that was my goal, to go there, answer questions, ask questions or whatever. And it just turned so ugly. I was like, yeah, certain people you can have conversation with, certain people you can't, because their esteem is too low. Their insecurities are many. So some people you just can't talk to. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that on certain platforms, because I've been on other platforms with black women and we've gotten along famously and had really good conversations. But everybody's not gonna be like that, and that's fine. But I was like, yeah, I'm out. I don't like this whole clique you got going here. These women are coming in hot. I don't know them from a can of paint. They coming in hostile. I was like, I'll bid you adieu. Goodbye. So probably not gonna see me over there.
Oh well, like, I mean, you shut it down. I understood everything that was going on, and like I said when I was there, and I said, when you are showing your insecurities to people, in specific women, and women that you deem to be preferenced by the men that you want, when you continue to push them and push them and push them, bitch, we from up north. We gonna give you what you want. We know what you mad at. We really know that you mad because you bald headed. We know that you don't like your skin. We know that. So I'm gonna just speak for me and not for Jen, that if I'm constantly trying to give you love and say, yeah, black women, we in this together and we love you, and we go through the same thing, and you're saying but nah, because why don't you date your own man and all this other stuff, and now I'm getting tired because you're insulting me. I'm going to insult you right back, and I'm gonna say the things that you don't want to hear and the things that I know that make you sad, because you're doing the same thing to me. And you think that you have a right to do that, and you don't. You don't control black.
That's
like, I don't know why some women think that they control black.
That's my thing. I was like, okay, you're going somewhere that you don't want me to go. Because when one of the chicks was like, oh yeah, you are Maria, I said, now I'm gonna call you Shaniqua, right? And what you're going to do is cry about it. Do not call me out my name. My name is Jen. You want to call me Maria? I'm going to call you Shaniqua. But then it's like, oh my God, she called me Shaniqua. Well, you called me Maria. See, I can
exactly.
You know what I mean? So
But
it's
they
like,
don't think that if you are of a lighter complexion or of another culture, of that you are you're not supposed to respond. You're supposed to sit there and get beat up. I did that through high school. I was bullied about boys and that I didn't even know anything, because you're mad that he has some type of crush on me, and you really want him, and I don't even know this man. I have no interest in him at all, and you just automatically assume that I don't go through the same things that you go through. And literally, you was on that panel to say, I go through the same things that you go through. Like, I go through the same, we all go through the same shit.
Same shit. Like, I've been through that where women are like wanting to fight me about a guy, and I'm like, I didn't even know. I'm not your I don't even know who that guy is. I'm not interested. Got my own situation, but in their minds they create these scenarios, and I don't like those conversations to go left like that. So I can tell when it's like, okay, the issues run too deep with this woman or that woman. They're not trying to hear it, but again, their problem existed way before they saw me. I'm chilling. Right? Like, I'm chilling.
Another thing that you said that was really important, and you said stop trying to control Black men. And Black women, a lot of Black women have an issue with doing that. Stop trying to control these men. You have no right and no control over who these men choose to date, marry, or have sex with. That's not your business. Why do you think that you have control over that? You don't have no control. You cannot automatically say, well, because you're a dark-skinned man, you should only be with a dark-skinned woman. That's none of your business. All you need to know is that he's with this woman, and that's it, and you move on and go where you are loved and where you are wanted. Black women gotta stop trying to control these men. It's giving low self-esteem. Don't do that. You can't control no man. None. You can't control no grown person. Nothing. Nobody that has access to their own money, vehicle, and free will, you cannot control them. Stop doing that. It looks really, really bad, Black women. Please stop doing that. You're embarrassing me.
I concur. To Trevor Jackson TV, I would love to have you on my platform. Cash at me, and I'll go on your platform. My Cash App is scrolling there on the bottom. Cash at me if you want me on your platform. Thank you. All right, guys.
That's all I gotta say. The gentleman is there, so I want to hear what he got to say.
Who? Which one?
Oh, it's more people. I'm looking at the chat.
Oh, Haran?
Any of them. I just want to hear what the gentleman had to say about what we have spoke about.
Haran, what you got? I know you got something.
About what?
About everything she just said.
I mean, she was pretty much on point with everything she just said. I mean, I said my piece to you with our DMs, and the things that I told you were a little bit more colorful, but I mean, she sounds like, let's just put it like this. I just texted you a minute ago, and I told her that she sounds like she's a beautiful woman. So she sounds like she's behaving like a woman that's not very secure. So, what I mean? This sounds like a woman who's not threatened by anyone who looks a particular way, because she makes her own, rounds. She eats. She, she doesn't live in a space of scarcity. A lot of people, when they live in a particular space of scarcity, in the dating world, they behave in the way in that particular way, where they see everyone who might be better looking, has more money, or has all the attributes that they don't have as a threat. Men do it too. Don't get it twisted. Men do it too. The only difference between when it happens between women is that when it happens in circles of men, sometimes it turns into violence. But make no mistake, men do it too. Overall, okay. Let me just keep it 100 while we right here on a late Friday night. Overall, I really saw an opportunity. When you went on there, I really saw an opportunity for you actually to go on there and hopefully have some great dialogue with some, some black women who are ready to have some honest discussions about some of the tough conversations and people sharing ideas and so on and so forth. But it seemed as if it was a setup. In a lot of ways, it feels like it was a setup. And it feels like it was a setup between that girl. I'm not gonna name, I'm not going to reference her name.
Sasquatch.
But that girl and the dusty dude and the other dude. I'm very sure that they all conspired together to jump on Nate's platform and actually conspire with her to create this, vitriolic situation, and it felt like the other women just followed suit.
Right.
It wasn't
I
until
love Camo Babe Beauty. I would love to have like a real conversation. We can do the Black Latin thing, but I would like it to be positive. You know what I mean? Like what I thought it was gonna be over there. Because I have a couple friends that would come on and have these conversations. We can have these honest conversations about what we go through. And if we have questions, like just be raw with it. Whatever questions you have for me and vice versa. And just make it a positive thing because it can be a positive thing. That's my issue, that it can be a positive thing, right? Because we all have things from all walks of life. So
I mean, Jen, whenever you're ready, just shoot me an email. We can, do something. My experience with Black and Hispanic women in specific, I never had a really bad experience. I did have in the Navy, I did have a leader that was from Central America. I think she was El Salvadorian. That was a bitch, and I really pretty much admired her. And we had an issue or whatever, but I cannot say it was because I was Black and she was Hispanic or whatever. So for me, it's very hard to hear these conversations because what I hear is a lot of what I experience, and this is what I said on Nate's channel. As being a light-skinned woman, in America and growing up light-skinned, I'm 41, by the way, was not easy in the Black community. It just wasn't. Going to, being in school with girls and these things, you have these stereotypes that is put out there, and you're automatically assumed to be a certain way. And I really was not that person that they just assumed that I was going to be. So when I heard the attack on you from the beginning of that show, it brought back flashbacks, like almost like PTSD, and I saw exactly what was going on. I knew what was going on, and I knew that it's like that thing when you got the dark skinned girl and you might have the brown skinned girl and they're gorgeous, and then that new light skin or Latina comes in and now she gets the attention, and then the narrative is changed that oh no, you're not Black. You shouldn't say you're Black, or you don't claim yourself as Black, but you date Black men or whatever. Oh, you only like her because she light skinned, or this and that or whatever. I literally was jumped by like 10 girls in high school, and I didn't even know these girls over a basketball player, boy, that I didn't even know. So I've had a lot of those experiences myself, and I completely understood what was going on. And I respect you for keeping your cool because I couldn't have. By the time I got up there, you had been up there probably for about an hour, and not one time did you raise your voice or have a disrespectful tone. I did catch the couple of shade that you threw or whatever, but it was deserved.
Shade now.
Yeah, I caught it. And I was like, yeah, you get what you get what you asked for. You keep pushing her in the corner and she's here coming with love. This was a panel for the issue of Latin women and Black women being put against each other, and the Latin woman, who is the preference, by the way, is humble, saying, I'm not your enemy. You get what I'm saying? I'm not your enemy. I still, even though I'm Latin and I speak this different language and I can make this different food or whatever, and I look a little exotic or whatever, I still go through what you go through. You could have easily went up there and said, look, I don't know what y'all talking about. Cause yeah, these niggas pay my bills. They do this and that. You didn't do that. You came up there humble and honest, and you still got hate. And I understood exactly what was going on. And even as a Black woman, I stand for Black women all the time. I cannot accept that. It's just not going to happen, because I know what you're doing, because you do it to me. You do it to light-skinned women. You do it to biracial women. And I understand the issue that is self-hate, and that is some insecurities that you have with yourself. And you need to fix that. And you need to get some help and some counseling. But
Well,
to
it
bully
sounds
someone because you feel like your man, when he's not with you, he's gonna look at Jen, is an issue. If I wasn't with my man and my husband, I would look at Jen. Come on, like, what's the fucking problem? Like, what is the issue? Like, we know what time it is. Stop it.
well, it sounds like this could be a show based on gatekeeping, black, the concept of black.
I
You
like
could
that
have
idea.
this is nobody's really talking about that because that's a real issue. As a Caribbean person myself, as a West Indian man myself, you know what I mean. I've been told I'm not black a number of times, a number of times. You know what I mean. And what I do notice is that women who are black women who are light skinned and Latina Latinas tend to have the same issues when it comes to dealing with darker skinned black women. I've noticed that based
No,
on some of
I
the
would love
stories.
that, because that's one of my issues. I'm like, you don't own the patent to blackness. Like, Black Americans aren't the only ones with African ancestry. It spans, it's global. African ancestry is global. No one owns the patent. No one owns the patent to blackness and to Afrocentricity, and they just don't. So I think that would be great. You need to come back. Camo beauty. We should do that. We should do a gatekeeping of blackness. That would be really, really dope. That would be dope.
So someone in the comment section is saying that I'm colorist, and I'm gonna tell you something. My mom is black as Pepsi, and she passed away just earlier this month. And my mom is the most feminine woman that I ever seen in my life. Everything that I get, I got from my mother. My mother at 76 years old never told me about colorism. I remember when I started understanding what colorism was, and I was very upset with my mother because of all the things that I had went through, that she never told me that this was a thing. So for you to call me a colorist, you're wrong. I'm not a colorist at all, but I'm going to tell you the truth, because this really do happen. It happens all the time. To me, if I was a man, I would choose a dark-skinned woman, because I think dark skin is beautiful. It glistens, and like, if it's a whole nother thing. I feel like the dark skinned woman is a true exotical woman. I have no colorism, but those women have to feel that way about themselves. It's nothing that I can say to them to make them feel comfortable, because I've done it my whole life. As when I had as women who were my friends as a girl, just when they would be teased or called black, or you know having being in situations with males where they would be left behind because they chose a woman of a different hue that was lighter. it, like, I don't see, as a woman, I don't see what you see. I don't see it. I think with colorist people and the specific men, it really has nothing to do with the skin color. It's a more inner thing where, and and to be honest with you, I have no problem with a man wanting to be with something that's different from themselves. I'm with something that is, somewhat different from myself. It's nothing wrong with that. It's when you begin to bully women of a darker skin complexion because you prefer, or you're more attracted and you're more interested in a person of another culture of a lighter skin. That's when the problem comes into play. So no, I would never ever be colorist. It took me a very long time to even understand what colorism was, because I'm from DC. We didn't have slaves and colorism and those things, or whatever the case may be. I never seen a poor white person until I joined the military and came to Virginia, because we don't have poor white people working at the 7-Eleven and those type of things. So stop generalizing all women, because we're speaking of our experiences. But I'm gonna tell you the truth that yes, it does happen. Unfortunately, it does. It's actually YouTube pages where as a light skinned woman or Latin, white, or anything, are not welcome there.
Yeah, I've seen them. I was like, wow. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, Joanna. Thank you for the super chat. Code Red, stop the cap. Stop the cap. Okay. How can she be a colorist and focus on color when she's talking about her personal experience, okay, of getting bullied by women who were darker skinned? How is she the colorist? This is something that was introduced in her life because of her complexion. So stop the cap.
Ben Adams, by saying light-skinned mixed women are generally more feminine, I don't really think you understand
That's a
just
lie.
how you're just
Wait,
contributing.
what?
You're just contributing to the division that we're discussing right now. You're just really contributing to that.
No, that was terrible.
That's a lie. I
That-
get along better with men because, to me, no offense to no women, a lot of women with a lot of their thinking is irritating to me, and the stuff that they talk about is irritating to me. That's a lie. I have more in common with men. Physically, yes, I probably would appear to you feminine, but a lot of things that I am interested in is more involved with the majority of males would be interested in that. So that's a lie. That's a lie that black men tell, and that's a part of the division to try to and it's really their own thing. In reality, they want to make black women of any culture mad, to pin them against each other. And as I said before, and I said on Nate channel, those type of men will be with me and when they get mad, they'll say, I don't like light skinned women. Anyway, I prefer dark skinned women. They'll get with a dark skinned woman and say, that's why I don't fuck with dark skinned women and I like Latinas. They will get with a Latina and say, that's why I don't like you. I like Spaniards better because you're masculine. Those type of men do that.
And this is what I want to talk about when we do the panel, because I wish when a man said something like that, light-skinned women are more feminine, I wish that all women would say, I'm sorry you feel that way. Have a nice day, sir. But what happens is they direct the anger, they get triggered by what he said, and then they attack the woman that he's putting on a pedestal. Instead of just saying, sorry you feel that way, sir. Enjoy your fucking day. Your opinion has nothing to do with me. They attack what they feel is being put over them. And that's really the problem I have with women. Like, this is just a man. This is a random man who said a random thing, right? And not even attacking him. It's just the same way I say, hey, I'd rather a guy not play PlayStation. And everybody's like, why? I play PlayStation. What's wrong with PlayStation? There's nothing wrong with PlayStation, but I prefer not coming home and seeing a guy on a PlayStation. I said that, but it shouldn't affect you. You shouldn't care what I want to come home to, because it's not going to be you. So you shouldn't care. So similarly, when men do say things like this, because, I've heard men say go both ways. I prefer dark-skinned women. I prefer, you know, chubby women. I prefer skinny women. I prefer light women. I wish women would just say, good for you. You want a cookie? Enjoy your day. But that's not what women do. And that's really the issue, that women get too involved and invested in what a random man is saying. Right. So, but we'll have this conversation. No, Ben, I
Jen,
just
real quick with what you just said. You know, when one of the issues with that, and the main issue is that men forget that we know them better than other men do because we're intimate with them. So they run that game.
Mm-hmm. So he says that was banter. I do not believe it personally, but some believe it. I know many feminine, dark-skinned sisters. I'm like, that's fine. I don't understand the obsession with the whole feminine thing. That's a whole other show. But let's come back and do this, because I think this is a conversation that needs to be had with civility and understanding and open minds. And I think it would be really dope for us to do it. I like the idea you gave, Haran. Hitting the caskets, the chat loves you. So you got to come back. And I thank you so much for coming up, because my ladies never come up.
I will.
Glad that you came up. It was a pleasure to have you,
Thank you
on the panel. And let's
Very much was.
out, guys. All right, good night. All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I said it was going to be light. I was supposed to be done in 2 hours, but I'm sorry it went for 2 hours and a half. But it was a great conversation, especially towards the end. And I don't want the end of this stream to get lost, because it's amazing conversation that we should have. So I'll make a whole show of it and invite everyone back. And I really hope that my ladies come up, because it's important for us to speak about these situations. Okay, so hit that like and subscribe on your way out. Thank you. Don't forget, On The Block with Jen on all social media platforms, and OnTheBlockWithJen at Gmail if you want to contact me about anything that you don't want everybody else to know. Okay, all right, guys, so good night. Thank you.